Hello, and we hope to be welcoming you back to Reaper Pro Tips this morning. We are dancing on the edge of the internet with me, your host, Anne, and Disembodied Hands Chief of Operations, Quindy. Sadly, operations still not working very well, so perhaps Gremlins, John, and Justin are having an impact. So hopefully we're here. Are we here? Are we here? Are we here? I don't know. We're going to go for it, guys. And my internet's stunning. So this does appear to be on Restream, the twitchy end. This appears to be twitchiness. Entirely twitchiness. Because my internet is fantastic, and I rebooted everything. So, not me for once. For once, it's not California. Thanks, Julie. And Bob. Alrighty. Yeah, more or less, Kerniko. It was rough. It was rough there. It was rough there. There we go. So we are all set. I have been so like taken up with trying to make this work this morning, as well as just generally distracted, that I have not even stopped to think what I want to paint. So I guess I want to do. Maybe we'll do the bracers. At least get the bracers in blue, and we'll do the horn in blue. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. Yeah, let's do that. No, it was entirely the interwebs, or the Twitch, to be very specific. Totally the Twitch, Kerniko. So yes, there are puppies, guys. They, those who are on my Patreon Discord probably got the early pup date, last night. However, the puppies, hey Sabretooth, the puppies have been born. My puppy has a face, although it could be one of 3 faces. And after all of those guessing games that we did, all of the guesses that people put in, the breeder, Bridget, actually ended up right. Who is the next closest? So Crowley, you were almost right. Hey, thanks, Robin. Thanks for the resub. 31 months. Awesome. Awesome. So she did lose one. There was one puppy. They're not sure if maybe the puppy, the placenta detached early or whatever, but the puppy did not come out. They had to go to the vet this morning to get the puppy out, and the puppy did come out without a C-section, but was DOA. So we lost one to the angels, as we say. So that's part of why being a breeder is so rough, guys. It's so rough because you lose them. You do lose babies. So yeah, so a little bit of a heart, everybody, moment of heart silence for the little angel puppy. He was a sable boy, but now he was supposed to be the DM because, we had 7 player characters in a DM. So obviously Heaven needed a better DM. So that's the heart. But the good news is Zammy's doing great. They didn't need a C-section to get the puppy out. And now all the other puppies are doing fantastic. So that's the hearts. The hearts for the puppy who is with the angels, but all the rest of the puppies are doing great. So, and there are a variety of colors. So Crowley almost won. If we would have had an 8 with a I think wait, not Crowley. Hold on. Who would have been right? Oh, Shadow Raven would have been right. But instead Bridget is right. I think. Yes. Oh, and Kerniko. That's right. You and Bridget guessed the same. I allowed that because the breeder guess doesn't count. So Kerniko, you won. 7-3. 7-3. So 7 puppies, 3 girls. So I have pictures. And we have a variety of colors. So they all look dark right now, but you can see that one is sable. That's a little boy. So these are the boys. So there's one there, and then the pink collar boy, I think, because I can see a little color on his butt. He looks black, but he'll actually end up saddle marked, like a traditional German Shepherd. And then the other two here, boys, are solid black. And then the girls. So we have a little girl there who is, I think that's Caliph. Caliph is the sable. And then I think that this girl is Vex. And she is a dual, so she's going to end up with a saddle. And then little purple girl, lavender collar girl, is Pike, and she is black. Yep, little Shiloh puppy beans. Less than a day old. They are adorbs. So the Pike, the little, and these are named after the first Critical Role season, by the way. So they're Legend of Vox Machina, I think. And so the characters that they were named after are Vex. Oh, sorry, we went too close. We went beyond. No, I want the first season. Silly. There we go. So one of them is named, the big sable boy is named Grog. And then there's Caliph, that's what the girl was, who's a sable. And then there's Percy, who's one of the black boys. And then Pike is a black girl. And then Scannion, I think, is the other black boy. And then I think it's Tyrion. I know it's Vex is the dual boy. And Vex is the dual girl. So they're all named after critical role characters. Yes. Because Bridget's a huge fan. So, oh, there are squeaks. Like, hold on, maybe I have squeaks for you. Are we gonna derail the stream a little bit here? Hold on, let me see. I have the cutest video from when Pike was born, the first girl. Let me see if I can get her. And then we'll start painting. I swear it. Let's see here. There we go. So let's see here. Let's see. This is funny because Zammy starts to lick her and she's like, what? Let's see if this is the one.
Look at how perfect you are. Oh my goodness.
What?
Oh dear.
So yeah. That was Cute Pupster for you. Cute Pupster. Total puppy derailment. Yeah, so totally named after Critical Role characters. So we either get Caliph, Vex, or Pike. And since I'm a cleric fan, you know, Pike is my fave. But let's see here. I want gold. What color am I? Oh, nose. Is my rich leather in the other room? I think my rich leather is in the other room. You just missed all the puppy photos and puppy video, Kodiak. 1 second. I'm going to get my color, guys. I need my color. I'm missing a color. And I knew I was missing the color, too. Like, I looked at it this morning, and I'm like, do I need that? And I'm like, no, surely I have another bottle. No, Kodiak. I had an early update on, but I haven't put anything else on there. Not yet. I will get the pictures up later. I didn't have time this morning. Kuroniko, it's all, Hey, Inara, I did pup dates already, but we'll do another pup date later on. I'll show pictures later. I just don't want to totally derail everything with puppies today, because my brain was already derailed by puppies last night, and then my brain was derailed by puppies this morning, because Bridget texted me from the vet, and I was crossing fingers that she wouldn't need a C-section. So, and apparently they got exactly 50 minutes of sleep last night, which is not very tactical of them. Like, honestly. Blame Twitch. Yeah, it was bad. Like, Twitch was bad. Like, we almost didn't have a stream this morning. So, I don't blame you. Blame the internet. Blame Twitch. Blame something like that. But I believe it was Twitch. My internet is actually really good. All right, let's get some of this colors going on here. But yeah, so cute little puppers. And Bridget is doing a puppy raising system called Puppy Culture, which is a lot of work. But it's a socialization and stimulation protocol to help your puppies get the best start. So we'll be watching that and following along for our pup dates once she gets that started. Oh, no, Inara, I'm sorry. Yes, 3 girls. 3 girls total. And I'm just mixing up some NMMs so that we can get something done this morning. Because it's just easy. We're using Candlelight Yellow and Rich Leather. We're doing that right there. And I'm getting my... Wait, where is my Russet Brown? So yeah, we do have... We lost one, but we do have 7 healthy puppies. Alrighty, so let's mix all those up. So yes, and the girls, we have 1 of each color as well. So really it was like, and the boys have 1 of each color and then an extra black one. So everybody will have very different looking puppies. Yeah. And choosing between the cutes is very hard, Korniko. I had to choose between the cutes for Kiri's puppies when I kept a girl. And it was hard. But this will be and this will be interesting just because I'll be doing the evaluation. So it will really depend on temperament, like temperament and structure. I have been at this a very long time now, and so I've really tuned in my whole thou shalt not become attached to any one puppy before the litter evaluation. My favorite age in Ara is 5 weeks. 4 to 5 weeks. Because then they're bunny hopping everywhere. They're just hop, hop, hop. They don't know how to trot properly yet. They're not coordinated enough, so it's just little bouncing fur balls. It's really adorbs. Really adorbs at that age. And their balance is usually not quite there, so sometimes they fall over. It's just ridiculous. So the next milestone will be their little eyes opening at between 7 and 10 days. But before that even happens, there's a lot of protocols to do for the breeder. Do little early neurological stimulation stuff. And what that's supposed to do is to help the puppy's nervous system react and recover better from stressful situations. They do it for military dogs and service dogs a lot. Hello, Roger. All right, so I've got all my colors where I want them. Right about there. I used russet brown with a little bit of the rich leather, and actually I put a drop of brown liner in to make it a little darker. I've got my rich leather, I've got my candlelight yellow and rich leather with a touch of white, and I've got my white plus candlelight yellow. And then I go up to pure white, but I will wait to mix that until we are there. We're going to try to knock out the rest of this, and then we're going to grab, actually, where's my ultramarine shadow? Oh, it's up here. I'm going to block in those bracers real quick, too. My girl, it depends on if she passes all of her health testing and her temperament testing. Mo, we won't let you breed in our breed unless you do that, because we're not AKCs, so we can withhold registration papers and stuff like that if people don't finish health testing. That's the downside of possibly going for like AKC or UKC recognition, is that you no longer have control of the registry, so you cannot make certain things mandatory. It's always been kind of the quandary with Shiloh Shepherds going whether we should go for recognition. But yes, if she passes all of her health testing and her temperament testing, then I will do 1 litter for the gene pool, and we'll see. Depending on how that 1 litter goes, I may do a second, but I'm definitely not in it to be a breeder with a capital B. I'm mostly doing it because these puppies are important for our genetic diversity, and I want to help out, and I really believed in this outcross. So yeah, it may come to the point. It'll be like 3 years from now. I usually our registry allows you to breed at 2 years old, but I like to wait till 3 because just more maturity. Zammy delivered last night, Pendrake. June 27th is puppy birthday. They lost 1 puppy, but they ended up with 7 healthy puppies. We had exactly what Bridget wanted. We had 4 boys and 3 girls, and so she has named them after the first season of Critical Role. And I showed pictures, and I'll show pictures again. But yeah, there's quite a few hoops to jump through in our breed to breed your girl or your boy. A lot of health testing has to happen and get passed first, which I like. Some people prefer the freedom of a less regulated breed, but actually I'm happy about our rules. But yes, Pendrake, there's 1 of each color for girls and for boys, and then the boys have an extra solid black boy. So we have a sable for each, and a dual, which is the traditional kind of saddle-marked German Shepherd coloration. We call it dual. A dual for each color, and then there's a solid black girl and 2 solid black boys. And the solid blacks all have like little white blazes or stars on their chests. That's something we allow. The dog's still considered solid black because the white spotting marking gene is a different gene. So sometimes our dogs will have little white toes, for example, or a white spot on the chest. Both of those are permitted as long as they, in the case of sables, as long as they blend in. But on blacks, it's just known to be a thing. So yeah, now we have to see how they grow. Now is the fun part. Like, even though it's a ton of work for the breeder, now is really, really the fun part, because watching their little personalities come out, is so much fun. So much fun. There we go. That is a nice, that balances out everything, right? Yeah, Bridget was correct on the number, and Kerniko also was. Kuro technically guessed it first, and I let Bridget guess late because she's the breeder. So in the stream, Kerniko was correct. She gets the "you are right." Ding, 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 ding. You get to feel smug. That won't be apparent till much later, Kerniko. Yeah, I'm betting that most of the pups in this litter will have weaker ears. I'm going to try doing the horn up here in this color, guys. Because we really didn't expect the ears to fully come back till the 3rd generation. This is just the 2nd generation. If we get any ears that are fully like standing in this generation, it will be like a awesome and we got lucky. Because Shiloh's much like even purebred German Shepherds still can end up with a floppy-eared dog. Like, the genes are still out there. And Shiloh's definitely, we see those genes. We see pups just in our regular litters with ears that don't stand. So, given that, I know that they're probably these pups' ears won't stand. I may try to brace. We do a little bracing thing that you can do to kind of help them. So, I may try to brace and see if they'll go up. If they have a little bit of strength, they might go up with bracing. But I'm fine. I mean, I wouldn't have signed on for this litter unless I was ready for floppy ears. So, there we go. So let's see how that balances. Yeah, I think that balances out pretty well. Aw, yeah, Cornico. I know. Just stuff. It's why it's so hard. And she's got, that's right, she's got a little collar around her neck. I'm actually going to make that blue as well. So since I have my ultramarine shadow out, let's just do that. Yeah, some things, it's why it's hard to be a breeder. That and cleaning up after a gaggle of puppies for pretty much 6 weeks straight. Oh, the poop. That's why we call them poopies. They're not puppies, they're poopies. All right, I'm going to slide my brush in here and just kind of try to get that other side of that. The collar here on her, around her neck. And we'll just go up in there. There. Perfect. So a little bit of blue there. That makes a nice dark shadow. I haven't... she's got her hair tie, and I think I just made it like as if it was going to be gold. So we'll see if I keep it there. I might... It would almost have to be blue or gold. It would work to make it blue, except then it'd be up against the neck. But it's not really up against the neck, so let's do that. Let's actually make it blue. Oh, those are Dobermans. They actually crop them, though. Like, they're not just doing the... We just use a little bit of, like, skin glue and felt. Like, we do not actually trim the ears at all. No way. Dobies, I thought they did actually cut the ears. I could be wrong on that, though. They're not my breed, so... But yeah, I wouldn't do it if it wasn't humane. Kiri needed her ear to get a little extra. She had a crease that developed in one ear, and so I usually use a little bit of like skin glue and a felt, or it's like the sticky-sided felt that you get for bunions and stuff on your foot to help pad them so that they'll go away. So it's all like skin dermatology approved stuff. Just to give it a little extra help. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We stop there. Oh, yeah. Pendrake, it would have been exactly what they think it was. Exactly the same as the domesticated foxes, right? We've talked about the domesticated foxes in Russia. How they took wild foxes that seemed a little less afraid of humans, and they bred them together for that trait. And they got floppy ears. So... I mean, dogs are still descended from gray wolves, so the original ancestor would have had standing ears, but as they bred them for sociability, some of those dogs would have exhibited floppy ears, and the people who bred them decided they liked that trait, or just kept breeding for a particular temperament trait that had that trait travel with it. Remember, genes travel in groups, big blocks, and something like a sociable temperament can easily, or a certain aspect of a sociable temperament can easily travel in the same block with floppy ears. So, yeah, I never had the point of declawing. Like, I'm very against it in cats. I mean, sometimes people will declaw pups for dew claws, right? But I'm not in favor of that either. But it is... In collies, they use a glue to tip the ears, yeah. Yeah, I agree that declawing cats is just not really an option for me. I swore after my last kitty, like where my now ex-husband made me do it, pretty much pressured me to do it. I swore after that cat I would never declaw a cat again. No, I may never own a cat again, so it may not be a point, but he just had a terrible time. And I just would never do it again. Ever. That's nice, Quindy. I didn't realize you were a vet tech. You missed the pup date, Dogfather. Yes, you did. Yep, exactly, Arfuntine. Yep. But they also had, Arfuntine, they weren't bred for it, but the morphological changes started coming out just breeding for a more sociable temperament, were floppy ears, spotted coats, and curly tails. So foxes started getting many of the traits that we now associate with domesticated dogs. And that was happenstance. They weren't trying to breed for that. They just noticed it started showing up, and so they documented it. But yeah, it's interesting how genes move, right? I could see how you would breed for like the rounder eyes, although I'm not a fan. Oh, wow. Yeah, very burnt out, I can imagine. So I should import you if I'm going to have puppies ever, and you'll be my doggy midwife with me, Quindy. I should import Quindy to the West Coast to help me. I hate whelping. It's so stressful for me. Dogfather, we have 7 puppers. We lost 1 little angel, but we have 7 healthy, happy puppers. Zammy is doing great. And there are 4 boys and 3 girls. All right, let's get some of this gold on this other leg going on here. All right, so we talked before, since she's kind of standing like in an A-frame, and she's got shin guards they've got kind of a peak at the front, a point at the front. So we can go up and treat this as the top of the leg. Same over here. And there are all 3 colors for each Dogfather. So there are a solid black, a dual, which is our word for the saddle mark, typical German Shepherd coloring, and a sable in each of the boys and girls, and then the boys have 1 extra solid black. So probability-wise, we actually got more duals than expected. I mean, as far as like what would be mathematically probable in the genes. More duals, fewer sables, and about the right number of blacks is about what we got. So I'm going to use my lighter yellow just to kind of map in some of these highlights. Arfuntine, there's a whole book on it. I read it, and I own it here. If you are interested in the actual story told by the woman who ran the project for many, many years, including her mentor who started the project, she talks about actually the government and how they had to kind of hide it from the government once the science started being kind of looked down on. But yeah, it was definitely political, but it's How to Tame a Fox and Build a Dog. And it's a great book. It tells the whole story all the way through to where they kind of got legit, where they were able to publish their results, and how people like getting their results published. I think it was in Smithsonian, but it essentially drew attention to the fact that they had no money, and they were trying desperately to still feed the foxes and keep the experiment going, but because they were so like outside of everything, you know, they were having issues, but it actually was donations that saved the program, I believe, at the end. But read the book. It's really, really good. I don't know if there's an audiobook, but you could look it up. Really, really good book. Really shows you like the crazy stuff they went through, and the results are exciting. Like, it's just really cool to read about how it happened. But yeah, totally endorse that book. It's super cool, especially if like me, you're very interested in genetics. It's really neat. So just a line of highlight on the outside of the leg there. Yes, Merle, the Merle gene. Bobtail is also an interesting trait gene, but yeah. Merles are pretty. I don't know. I always like tricolors better, though. I was a tricolor and sable fan. Our Sheltie was a sable. He was actually almost like mahogany colored. He was really pretty. He had a really reddish brown coat. All right, so I'm going to just add a bit of shadow here right behind the leg because we do have this big piece of cloth. But I still want enough highlight to be able to show that it's shiny. I'm going to use a little bit of my brighter yellow too to intensify this color a bit. Alrighty, I need to fix my lining here. I've lost it on the knee, so I'm going to grab my brown liner real quick, mix some of that up for myself. Yeah, I might go pink with the little sphere up here. I need to figure out the gemstones, though, and what color I might want to go with them before I make that decision. I think I was thinking about a pale blue. So with liners, always thin them less. I usually 4-to-1 paint to water, often 5-to-1 paint to water. If you want a really dark thin line, then go with walnut brown instead of brown liner. But yeah, there's also a National Geographic article on the Fox experiment that kind of like summarizes the results with charts and cool things. So if you're interested in that, you might be able to find that online. What was I gonna do? Oh yeah. All right, I was gonna show puppy pictures real quick. Let's see here. Oh yes, here we go. So here we go. Puppy update real quick for those who missed it. There's the boys. So we have a sable boy, and we've got 2 blacks, and then this one is actually going to turn out to be a saddle marked boy. And then the girls, sable girl, and that one's going to be another saddle marked one, and that one's solid black. There you go. There's the Shiloh beans, not even a day old. Not even a day. And there's Zammy feeding her babies, which Bridget honestly sent me less than 10 seconds ago. Everybody's happy. Everybody's happy and getting fed. Always good. All right, let's correct that knee. So baby puppers, there you go. Baby puppers. There we go, putting in a stripe again. Got a little bit wide, so I'll trim it down. Don't expect to be able to do really super thin lines. Like, even I make a really thick line every once in a while. Like, look at how thick that was. But you can always touch it up. I mean, it's almost easier to just draw a line, not worry how thick it is, and then actually make it a super thin line by coming back and trimming it up, as they say. Like so. Much easier to do it that way. Zammy's a very good mama. She's been a champ, Bridget said. very proud of Sammy for doing such a great job as a first-time mama. There we go. So now we have to bring in our white highlight. We need to also do a reflection on the underside of the leg to make it look like gold. There's a very loud bird out there. Or squirrel. Can't decide. And then we'll get a little bit of, so you just want a little bit of pure white right at the point between where the highlight and the shadow. Where the highlight cuts into shadow, that's where your highlight is. Your highest highlight. The pure white. Comes right down on that. So yeah, now the fun begins and you guys get to help follow the journey. I'll give you pup dates regularly and you can watch little babies grow with me until it is time to go and give them their exam and see who is actually coming home with me. David was grumbling at me because I like the solid black girl and he likes the other two. It's going to come along and get the outer edge of that there. And I'll probably bring up a little bit of highlight there. Just didn't want to forget it. So that looks shiny a bit, but it could get better. And one way to make it better is to make our shadow more dark. So we're going to take a bit of our brown liner, mix it with our russet brown, and bring in a bit of a shadow right along that line. This is thinned down so that I can kind of layer with it. It's not too stark. It's kind of just darkening down the brown that's already there. So that makes it look shinier. You need that contrast. If you don't have that dark line or a dark blend, your NMM won't look right. It's got to be pretty darn dark. And then we want reflective quality. There we go. So a little bit of light suggested there. And I'll do the same up here. Just a little bit of light on the inside of the leg there. I don't care really, Pendrake. It's the temperament that's most important to me, but Cerberus could be any color. Cerberus in Hades is red in the Hades video game, which is really who we're naming her after anyway. It's my favorite version of Cerberus. And, you know, the name isn't set in stone yet. It really depends on what kind of personality she has. Got a little blurfy there at the top of the leg. I don't have black mixed up, but what I do have on my plate are ultramarine shadow and brown liner, and mixing those together makes a complex black. So that's what I did to touch up that line. It's actually not pure black, but it looks like it. Besides, only we're going to know that she was named Cerberus if we name her that. She'll be Siri to everybody else. It'll be like a middle name. When she's being bad, then she'll give it like Cerberus. She'll get that. Or we could give her a more normal first name and give her Cerberus as a middle name. But yeah, it depends on the pupper. Gonna just go and see what their little personalities are like. That's the next question mark now. There we go, a little bit more shadow. Now that's looking really good. So it's a combination of the light and the shadow. I need a little bit darker shadow actually on the other side. You can see when we zoom out and get away, then the illusion is more convincing. Oh, I have a puppy movie to review after the stream. Bridget is in love with her puppies. That's what everybody said, Pendrake, but I never use Siri, so it doesn't matter. Neither does David. Like, the only time he ever uses Siri is, like, if he's trying to set a timer for something and he doesn't have hands-free. Otherwise, we don't use it. There we go. A little bit darken that shadow, like it a little bit better. Yeah, neither of us are big fans of Siri, so as far as the app voice activation thing, so it's not really an issue. Just gonna probably spell it C-I-R-I, which is the way that Siri is spelled in The Witcher, actually. So we can hit more than one cultural geek reference, because why not? If you can, why wouldn't you? But again, we don't know about the name yet, because we haven't met the puppy. We have other names. We have Lyra, we have Dusa, again after the Hades video game. We have Talia, after one of the muses. We still have a few names. Oh, and Callie, for Calliope, after another muse. David liked Callie as a name, so she could end up a Callie and not a Cerberus. Depends on who she is. Some puppies are just not a Cerberus. Yes, why would you name a puppy after the Hound of Hell? Just ask David. It's all him. Oh, I just realized we have a little interesting texture on her little crisscrossing texture on her pouch here. We should probably do that in gold, but it's very fine. So this would definitely be a time for underpainting, in my opinion. Yeah, I would be happy with any of those names pretty much. My favorites are probably Talia, Callie, and Siri. Like those are the top three for me. They're also I made sure they were all celestial objects, except the Cerberus constellation is a defunct constellation. Somebody invented it, and then they put Cerberus, absorbed Cerberus into a different constellation. So he's not really a constellation anymore. The reason is that the breeder's name, Bridget's kennel name, is Supernova. So I wanted Greek related for my kennel name, Sparta, and star related for Supernova. So I'm just going to use my palest yellow, which has a lot of white in it, and do those crisscrossing lines there. I'm going to pick up the little snaps as well, or buttons, or whatever they are. So yeah, now it depends on the puppy. We could get a whole range of personalities in this litter, knowing the parents and grandparents. I knew all of the parents, and I have met and known all of the grandparents, except for I didn't meet the outcross dog. And I guess I didn't meet Phelan, so not all of them, but close. Behind Bridget's lines, I've met all the dogs. All right, painting over that with a little bit of rich leather. We blorfed it a little bit there, so we'll have to touch it up. Hello, Corsair. Just getting that little interlacing design and trying to tighten it up, trying to figure out how far down it goes here. I think it goes all the way down, so it actually crosses between those two buttons. Since I haven't really highlighted the underlying leather on this, I could do a glaze of the rich leather over the entire thing once I have this design sketched in. Notice how I'm moving the model so that I can keep a comfortable brush angle so that I can paint with precision here. Hey there, Crowley. A little bit more here. I just want to have this pretty bold. Oh, I blorfed. Too easy to blorf. Looking to see if there's any more. Ah, she's sending me videos. Yes, too distracting. Puppy videos. Yeah, I started clearing. We've got this horrible creeping vine behind one section of our shrubbery, and I'm trying to save the shrubbery from the vines. I started my war yesterday with the clippers and was dismayed to find it was pretty strong infestation. Probably had been going for a few years prior to us tagging the house. So we'll see how much of our shrubbery I can actually save. All right, let's put a glaze of rich leather over the top of this now. And so we can make those little lines look more golden. I'm going to grab just a couple brushfuls of the rich leather. Throw some water in there. That's about right. Kind of caramel color. And I'm just going to brush that right over the top of all this. Since my brown is pretty dark, it's not going to really be impacted by this transparent caramel color that I've got with my glaze. I would have to make it a lot stronger before it started to really impact the brown. Plus, I can always darken the brown down very, very easily. So we're almost in line with the gold there. One more glaze I think will do it. You can always put another glaze on, but you can't take them off so without repainting everything. So always go cautious with your glazing. Ooh, I need to figure out what the dagger handle is. That's right, because we need gemstone, gemstone, dagger handle, and then the ball. And I think that's where our accent colors are going to go. All right, one more glaze with our rich leather. Oh, a little bit too much paint on there that time. See the puddles? You got to take those off. No puddles. No puddles allowed. Dry off your brush real quick so that it's damp and it can slurp off some of this extra paint. Just kind of tap it on the surface. Leave a really thin film of paint though, so it takes it to that gold color we wanted. Corsair, I am very good at housebreaking puppies, and Shiloh puppies, to be fair, are one of the easiest breeds to housebreak because they're very responsive to you and they're very easily trainable. They catch on quick. I also have an excellent breeder who's going to pre-housebreak a little bit, as much as she can, with 8 puppies, or 7 puppies rather. But that said, I've always found housebreaking, and I know you were making a joke, but I've always found housebreaking to be pretty easy with my breed. Just got to pay attention. Pay attention to your pupper. There. Now I'm going to bring in this light color just a little bit again near the top, just to bring in a little bit of highlight. And there we are. We have done our little elaboration. I'm going to grab a little bit of pure white and hit each of these little snaps just a tiny bit. I'm going to try to keep those highlights very small. I don't want the whole snap to be white. But if it goes all white, then it's good. It's fine still. All right. Yay. Woohoo. Let's see what's next. Do my double check. Oh yeah, the staff. So a staff is a cylinder. It's round. And the light is mostly going to be coming down the front, but then you're also going to get kind of a bounce light, usually on the sides, from both sides. And then you will also get a highlight running down the back. So for cylindrical objects, you often want to have 4 highlights. 2 main highlights, one front, one back. And then secondary highlights on the sides. And in between all those, there are shadows. That's how you do NMM on a cylinder. And that should make it read pretty well from all angles. Just need to touch up my staff color here. Oh, and I totally didn't get her ankles yet. But yeah, our puppy might have one accident. Like, I expect our puppy to be pretty good. Like, you know, it's part of getting a puppy. But the fact that I work from home is really, really helpful. And will be really helpful in raising this puppy. Though I used to be able to bring my puppies to Reaper, and that was always awesome. Because Reaper is puppy friendly. Because Dave. Dog-friendly environment. A little bit of highlight. A little bit of extra highlight. But yeah, now it's time for me to start hitting the puppy books. Gotta be ready. Gotta get all of our supplies. Gotta kind of outline. I like to be prepared, so I'm going to outline kind of a training protocol. Oh, we've also got to get this finished out here. This one up here. Yay, fun. Lots of gold. She's almost done, guys. Almost. We're getting really close. Fine, actually. Mama-san, like, Leo and Mama-san, Leo just didn't want to even get close to Mama-san because Mama-san would give him the eye. Kiri and Mama-san got along together really well. And Blazy and Mama-san, on and off. So, you know, Mama would have, like, certain animals that she was, like, happy with and certain animals that she was just like, But, I mean, my dogs were always on leash when we went back in the warehouse, when I had to go to the time clock or whatever. So it wasn't like they could get to Mama unless I let them. Kiri was just an animal's animal. Like, Kiri loved our cat Panther, Mama-san's son, and she would play. They would play together. They would chase each other in the house. The cat would, like, leap on her. He would wrap his claws, like, paws around her neck and kick her chest. And then he'd, like, jump down on the floor and tear off, and she would chase him out of the room. It was funny. It was funny as anything. Like, they actually would play. So Kiri and Panther were just best buds. So Kiri was just like, and she was like that with dogs too. Like, there was never a dog that Kiri would have a problem with. She was just a very... Critters liked Kiri. 2 pieces. Polly, if you look, I kind of did both. I have a general highlight here on the top, and then I did a general shadow down here, but I did pick out the details. So normally I will highlight the entire surface first and shade the entire surface, and then I will pick out any details that make sense. Yeah. Otherwise, if you don't, and I did it also on this side, but it's harder to see, but it's lighter up top. If you don't do that, then it looks a little bit wonky, and technically I could take this top part a little bit lighter. But I glazed it to get it there. And then the highlights, the very bright highlights there are in line with that. There. That's how it should look. So lighter, bright white highlights if it's metal, dark shadow, back up to a highlight on the bottom here. And I could go a little lighter with that highlight. So it's a little trickier. A filigreed shoulder pad like this is a bit trickier than just any old shoulder pad. But no matter how detailed it is, the general shape of it should still reflect. Yeah, that makes sense, Carrie. Yeah, my kitty ended up, my friend Katie ended up taking him, rather. Alrighty, so let's get this front part. I started up here, just kind of putting a general yellow highlight in. Same on the bottom here. Want to make sure that your highlights are falling kind of in a line. Like so. Now, we do have to think about where our darkest shadow is going to run. And usually if it's easier if there's a top to the cylinder and a bottom. Technically, the top would probably be along that side. I'm just going to try to block in some general small highlights and see how it goes. And I could probably don't have really any highlights here close to the body, so it probably that's just buried. So the bottom part's going to be a little easier. Whereas the top part, I can see it all around, so. Yeah, I don't want to dwell. I'm gonna. I had to. Yeah, I get it. It's hard. Talked about my situation before, but I'm just moving past at this point. I don't want any sads today. I already had a sad this morning, so. But I get it. Oh, that went a little bit too close, so I'm going to block that in. That's funny, Kerniko. Mo's like, what is this creature? Or Husky was like, what is this creature? This weird creature. Oop. All right. So brighter highlight there. Need to get some shadow on this. So I'm going to take my russet brown. I'm going to shade underneath this upper rim. I'm going to shade between these pieces down here on the base as well. The cat thought it was just cat TV. And then she's like, wait, this is really a thing? This is an entity? We'll put a little shadow in here. A little shadow in here. Little shadow over here. Now, you can kind of play your viewing angles or play your NMM here based on the viewing angle of the piece. So like if your viewing angle is here, you can try to make your NMM read from that. And then if your other viewing angle is here, we can try to make our NMM read from that. Instead of worrying about every viewing angle, because most people with this model aren't going to be looking at it like this. You know, they're going to kind of look at it here. So as long as our NMM makes sense from that angle, we're good. Yeah, that's probably it, right? There we go. Just a couple of little highlights. Like so. We got under and then back. So let's do the under there. Since this is the underside of the staff, and this is just going to be bounce light, I'm not taking it as light as it is here. And then a little bit of bright highlight back here since we are putting general highlights on the back. There we are. So now we have those are a little close. I want to lighten the entire upside of that staff though, because that's really where the light is falling. So I'm going to take some of my gold and kind of put that on. Yeah, it's hard to do viewing angles from every angle. You just got to pick your most likely viewing angles. Usually if you look at a model and you listen to your gut a bit, you can kind of tell what your best viewing angle is, but sometimes you need to train your eye to do that. And really the best way to do it is to pick up the model and see what angles you just look at it from, right? But some people just don't have any like gut. I've found they don't have really a good gut sense of that, so maybe it's something you have to learn. I don't think it's out of reach for people, but if you don't have it, but I have met people who just weren't really very good at it, like who were trying to take pictures of their models and just did not even know, like didn't seem to get like what the best angle for the model was. There. Yeah, NMM dragons are just challenging because there's so many different organic curved surfaces. Like, it's just kind of punishing. Thanks to D&D for making gold, silver, copper, bronze, and brass dragons. Thanks, D&D. Thanks. I want to highlight there just a little bit. Just going to try to knock out all this NMMs. Oh, so I was going to tell you guys, you know that I was looking for models that I wanted to paint from some of the sculptors who we haven't painted anything from. And I decided that we will be painting, we'll be replacing Centaur maybe, and probably the bust with Jason Weeby's Elemental Scions. We're definitely going to do water and air. I'm not that interested in fire. Too much like the Efreet. Like, I'm just not that interested in fire. But the air and the water one will definitely do. And maybe the earth. So we're going to be doing at least 2 of those. So we'll do some bigger models. And then I'll have painted a Weeby. Yeah, color shift works on bigger models. Corsair. Alrighty, now we just need the back of the shoulder pad and that little bit. And we'll go a little over since we had such trouble with Twitch starting the stream. Happily, they got their goop together. And we were able to actually have some stream time today. Because for a while there, I was thinking I'd have to cancel. A little bit of a shine there. And then here, I want to go with pale yellow. And to do these thin little lines, you really just got to have your paint thinned down and very little bit on the brush. You can see how then my brush still comes to a really sharp tip. Yeah. That's cool, lady. Alrighty, and then just a little bit more there. We're picking out our details. No, that was the female genie. That she was from a totally different. She was Jean Sculpt, I think. Jean, no, she was Bobby. Bobby Sculpt Pendrake. Yeah, she was a long time ago. These models are a lot more recent. Yeah, female Ginny is a Bobby. Genie was a Bobby Jackson from a long time ago. I want to get a little bit of light here. Trying to just kind of like fudge it in a little. There, it's a little better. Yeah, there's a lot of different things that it's valid to paint. You can repaint pops or Pokemon stuff or statues or even magic cards. There we go. It's looking good. Just a little bit more highlight, I think. They're cute little opportunists who will eat anything, almost. Right? Foxes. I still remember a friend of mine who, like, found out I liked foxes, and he was like, "Oh, why could you like foxes? They're such opportunists." And I'm like, "What's wrong with that?" Opportunist? Human opportunist right here. Not that I would eat your cats, Kariniko. I'm not that kind of opportunist. All right, guys. I think our NMMs are finished. Let's back out. M&Ms. So we're shiny. We've got our shinies. Shiny. Very shiny. Definitely a court mage. Yeah, coyotes will eat dogs. Absolutely. Especially now that they hunt in packs. They'll send one coyote to pull the dog away from its yard, and then they'll all jump on it. Yeah. Coyotes are nasty. It's going to be an accent color, Roger. It's going to be the same color that I make these gems and the handle of the dagger. I've kept these areas unpainted so that I can do an accent that has featured at various places around the model. And whatever color I use, I may also work it back into my celestial symbols that I'm going to start working on back here now that we've gotten a lot of pretty much almost her entire front. We need to do leather still, and I need to highlight some of the blue that I just put down today. But otherwise, we're going to be spending more time on her back. We're going to be putting in all the alchemical symbols that I wanted to put down on her cape. And we might just throw in a couple of just random like inverted triangles up here and make those the same color as the gem, because I want to repeat the accent color around the model. So I'm still debating what color I want that to be. I could go with orange. I could go with pale blue. Green doesn't really fit me right now. I don't think that it's going to be green. I think it'll probably be an orange or it'll be a pale blue. So just kind of debating there. The pale blue would go more with her hair shadows, and the orange would be more of a direct complementary to the blue that I'm using. But the orange would also be really close to the gold, so it's up in the air. It's up in the air. Still considering. But yeah, so sometimes I just leave it, and then once the model's completely done, I usually will have an instinctual like call that I'll be like, I bet orange would work. And then I'll do it and I'll be like, yeah, orange works. The orange is a bit close to the pink, but because the pink has a lot of purple in it, if I shift the orange, like highlight it with yellow, that will pull it away from that color, so it should work. It's just a bit close to the gold. That's the only reason I wouldn't go for orange just off the top. That's why I'm thinking kind of a pale blue might also be a good feature. Go with is a hard way to say that, Corsair. It isn't, you don't want it to go with, because then the fact that the gems are framed by gold means it's harder to see the color. So be careful with go with, because sometimes go with means that you don't actually see the color at all, depending on where it's placed. You'll see the color up here because it'll be like an orange ball in the middle of blue, and those are complementary colors, so the orange is going to stand out up here. But here the orange is in the middle of gold, so that's not close. Colors being close to each other usually actually isn't optimal in miniature painting. Oh, I see. Painted symbols on a cloak. We're probably going to put some NMM in here anyway. We're either going to do some of the symbols in NMM or we'll do edging. I haven't decided. I've got kind of dark bars here, but I don't want the stream to go any more. But yeah. Yep, time for lunch. You're right. It's time for me to go for my walk and then have my lunch. But anyway, for anybody who didn't see the pup date, hold on, one last picture of the puppies. We'll just show you puppies. So there's Mommy Zam with her babies. There they all are. And then the puppers, the girl puppers. These are the cutes that we're choosing between. Little black cute, little saddle marked cute, and little sable cute. So those are the three girls. So in 8 weeks, I have to make a hard choice. Maybe a little less than 8 weeks. Boy, I have to hurry. I have to get all my supplies. I don't have many supplies left from when Kiri was around because we didn't want to move a bunch of stuff. I'd kind of slimmed down all Kiri's stuff anyway. Sable cute? That's what David likes sable cute. I like black cute, but we both would be fine. I just want a really, like, trainable temperament. I want to do a lot of cool training with this dog. Yeah, no ReaperCon. I will not be at ReaperCon. Confirmed. Because I'm going to be driving this puppy back from North Dakota a week before ReaperCon. And so driving the puppy to ReaperCon and bringing like a 9-week-old puppy to ReaperCon, just not going to happen, guys. Not going to happen. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Is sad. Is the first ReaperCon. The first ever that I will miss in all of ReaperCon. I've been at every single one because I helped to build it. So, yes, no Anne at ReaperCon, sadly. I'm sending David with all my models to give to Ron and Julie and maybe somebody else. We'll see. Yeah, Pupper Trumps Con. Just if she wasn't such a baby, or if the puppy would be like a few, like, you know, if the puppy was 4 months, 5 months old, then I would do it. But it's just that I know that drive from North Dakota, that's a 3-day drive for me to get the puppy home. I'm not going to want to jump in a car again and drive to Texas. So, yeah. So, no puppies. No puppies. But, yeah. That's a sad. But, yeah, you guys, hey, puppy. Yeah, and I'll have time then to, like, corrupt the puppy and make her completely mine, because David is abandoning us. Yeah, exactly, Inara. Critical period to get adjusted, to get the ground rules set, you know, just like all that. Like, I do believe in taking the puppy places for sure, but that's just a big disruption right after she gets home. So I'm not convinced that it would be the best thing. Yeah. That's the ulterior motive, yes. Stealing the puppy from David. I'm sure that he will spoil the puppy adequately to get the puppy. No question. All right, guys, that's what we did today. We did NMMs. We talked a little bit about colors and contrast and stuff like that. And we did NMM on a whole bunch of different surfaces. We also did some fine detail on the pouch there and all that stuff. Tomorrow, now I have a motivation to like finish the Centaur faster because I want to start the Elemental Scions. So, yeah, we want to maybe I'll do gold NMM tomorrow, or maybe I'll do the green and see if we have time left for some NMM. We did the bone last time, and so he's getting really close. Like, he really is. Yeah, he's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So, yeah, we've got more detailing to do on the olive green, on the bracers, and on the chest. And a little bit here on the front that we didn't get to that point. So, yeah, the Centaur is pretty cool, and y'all should tune in tomorrow so that we can see how much we can bust out on him. So that we can get to the starting an elemental sign. Yeah, the Appaloosa markings. Yeah, those turned out really well. I'm really glad I did them, and the white socks, too. They turned out really well. Yeah, I'm really happy with him. Like, I'd like to finish him I'll finish him before ReaperCon, hopefully, so I can give him to Ron. Who sculpted this one? Do we know? Do we have a sculptor on the Centaur? Just to toss a little bit of a question in at the end of this. Was it Julie? Julie, are you out there? Do you know who sculpted this one? Was it you? Maybe they had to go. Maybe we're distracted. We went late. Oh, Glenn Harris. Yeah! You're right. You're right. Yeah, I didn't think that the human torso part was quite Julie-ish. So, yeah, maybe it was Glenn. I can ask Ron. Thanks, Julie. Thanks for popping in. So, all right, everybody, tomorrow with the Centaur, and I hope you all have a lovely day. Hope you enjoyed the pup date and the puppy pictures. And, yeah, have a fantastic one, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.